Good morning, folks. I'm sitting here at work. I'm a little bit early this morning. Um, so I debated discussing this with you because I know that some people will take it the wrong way. Um, if you think that demons don't exist, you are absolutely incorrect. Um, in 2008, I had what I would like to call an encounter. Um, and from this experience, my life did a complete 180 from the direction that I was going. Um, Pursuant to that experience, which it's very involved, and maybe one day I'll tell people about it, but right now, that's not why I'm coming on here. Um, but pursuant to that experience, I started studying the Bible. There's my boss right there. I started studying the Bible and really started following um, several preachers online because at the time I was driving a big truck. I was in a company truck, 18-wheeler, and making fairly good money. And by the end of 2009, I ended up leasing my own truck. And pursuant to me leasing that truck, I started pretty much every truck stop, like every Petro or TA that I would stop at that had like a driver's lounge or TV room or anything like that. Like it could be a Love's, it could be a Petro, it could be a TA. I even found one that was at a Pilot out west. But anyway, I would stop and I would go into the driver's room and I would leave Bibles. And I would leave Bibles with, bookmarks in them, or I would leave little Bible tracts, and in 2010, I was at home. I actually came home, was staying at my parents' house, and I hadn't told my parents up to this time. I hadn't told my parents that I had actually leased a truck. And pursuant to me telling them that, we got into a little bit of an argument about it because, as my mom used to say, "Are you crazy?" And she just had a way of saying that, and she didn't mean it in a malicious way. It was just her way. And I was very upset with both her and my dad at that time. And I kind of stormed out of the house, because they lived in a little single wide trailer with a porch and brick steps outside. And I was storming down the steps when something grabbed my leg, spun me, and threw me 6 feet across the yard. I landed about an inch from the blocks that I had helped make of a little pond. It was just one of those little ponds that you have that has the water coming out with a little filter, just just a little something. I mean, it wasn't no bigger than about 5 or 6. feet in length and maybe 2 feet across, just one of those little ponds that you would buy at like Walmart. And then we went and put, solid retaining block around it and made it, nice for my mama. And I landed about an inch on the other side of that from that block. I mean, just barely missed my head. And the only word I can tell you is shock. Because my ankle was snapped. And looking at the steps and looking at the ground, yeah, one of the slate tiles at the bottom on the ground was slightly tilted and slightly out of canter. But something grabbed me at the second step on that staircase and literally threw me across the yard. Now, of course, I didn't tell my family because, I didn't want to appear crazy, right? But this took me off the road for about 6 weeks while I was in a boot, okay? If anybody has ever had ankle surgery or anything dealing with your ankles, a lot of times there's so many bones in your ankle and your foot that they can't do surgery on it. All they can do is boot it and hope it heals. And then maybe, once the chips have worked up to a certain level, maybe they can go in and remove the chips at that point. But anyway, I just took it as, I got off for 6 weeks and I went and I sent the truck to go have engine work done on it. And went back to work in October and continued doing what I had been doing. I didn't let it stop me from doing what I was doing. And in February of 2011, I was signing my lease truck on, because I had financing outside of the trucking companies, had outside financing. And I was signing the truck on with another company. And a huge ice storm come through that February in Indianapolis. And I was walking in because I had called and said, hey, are we still going to have final day of orientation? Or are we going to delay that a couple hours until the sun comes up and, we're able to get the walkways and everything salted so that people can get in and out fairly easily. And I was told that I had to come in. So I'm walking into the building, and again, ended up landing, and I landed specifically in such a way that when I landed, it snapped my wrist in 3 places and broke my arm from landing on a pole, which surprisingly was frozen over solid in a 6-inch ice walkway. And you can't tell me that these two things did not happen for a reason. But that took me off the road again for about 6 months. And of course, pursuant to that, I ended up losing the truck and had to go through a couple surgeries. And all through this, I still stayed strong in my faith. Well, that June, right around July the 4th, it was actually in June because the family had a barbecue down in Myrtle Beach. And one of the family members down there that is related to my daughter's my ex-boyfriend's family is who she lives with, and they were having a barbecue. Well, I was off, and I said, well, I'm going to go down there, and I'm going to spend the weekend and spend some time with my daughter and some time with the family down there who I very, very seriously love. And while down there, we're outside, and I happen to walk away from the group, and, they have a bonfire going. Most of the children are already asleep, so some of the adults are, of course, having a couple beers here and there, Nothing major. You got to realize these were supposedly almost all Christian. There were couple people there who were pagan, okay? And so I kind of walked away from the group a little bit and was staring up at the stars, just marveling at the magnificence that God had created. And this was my whole thought in my mind at the time. I was just in awe. And one of those family members came up to me suddenly with absolute anger in him, malicious anger in him, holding a beer bottle in such a way that I knew that he was ready to swing it at me, and said to me, he asked me this most amazing question, and that was, do you actually believe that there is a God up there listening to you? And I'm like, absolutely. I absolutely do. And the anger that came out of him as he stood there and cussed at me and then stormed off in complete anger left me in shock. Now, a lot of things have happened since these incidences. Some of the ministries that I was tithing to came under massive attack. And my family itself came under attack, both financially and spiritually. And it has taken me a long time to rebuild my life back from that summer. So I can definitely tell you, without question, that yes, demons do still survive. They are still around us, and they do inhabit people around us, and they come at us a lot of times from the very people who claim that they love us and are close to us, because this is a way for the devil to decrease our faith and decrease our impact for God. Now, I'm no prophet. I'm no great teacher of the gospel. I will tell you this. There's absolutely nothing on this planet that can separate me from my love for Christ. Nothing. I have faced that and come out of the depths of iniquity and I cannot describe to you what it felt like at the time that I was saved. What I can tell you is it was akin to this. And this is the best way I can describe it. I was down in a sewer covered in blackness, and suddenly God Himself walked through that blackness, picked me up out of it, and as He picked me up, the blackness fled. And my life has not been the same since. So yes, I 100% believe in Jesus Christ. There's nothing on this planet that I think of as being more worthy of love than Jesus Christ. There is no job, there is no animal, no money, no power, nothing that you can offer me that's on this planet that would cause me to turn away from my Lord Jesus Christ. But that being said, you have to also understand that there are demons out there, and they are put in your path to test you, to perfect you, uh, to polish you like a diamond. And they will put in your minds that you are not worthy of love. They will put in your minds that no one cares if you live or die. They will put in your minds that you should not be. That's one that I fight with all the time. They will put in your minds all of the self-destructive thoughts and ideas, and they will put around you people who are very self-destructive, because a lot of times the people that you hang around is how you become. And make no lie about this, okay? The demons know that you're going to belong to Christ before you do. They can see it in you. And they will try everything that they can to try and destroy you before you get to that point where you turn to God. I cannot tell you what to do. I can tell you that if you are at that point where you have nothing to live for on this planet and everything seems to be going against you, maybe that's true. But if that's true, then maybe what you're doing is what's right. Because in the Word, it says that the world will hate you for His sake. The world will try to destroy you because of Jesus. It will try to remove everything you have because you are following Jesus. I cannot tell you how many pastors sit there and preach, oh, everything is going to be beautiful, everything is okay, yada, 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 yada. And the reality is that if you are a Christian, you know exactly what I'm saying right now. The reality is that walking by faith requires faith, and that is not easy sometimes. It's exceptionally hard if you are addicted to substances to be able to walk away from that by faith. And it's exceptionally hard to stay away from it, because a lot of times what we do, we don't see. It's kind of like if you build a house, you can see that you're building a house. But if you're doing things for God, a lot of times you don't see the impact of what you're doing. And so it becomes exceptionally hard to continue doing it. So this is me this morning telling you that yes, demons do exist. Yes, they are out to destroy all Christians because to them, we are the light that is shining on the hill, and they want to cover us up and blind us out because they don't want Christ, right? They are against that. So they are against the light. So they want to crush it any way they can. And they will use people around you to do exactly that, to crush your faith, to pull you away from following Christ. Even though they know that they can't take your soul, they will try to diminish your impact for God. So this is my words this morning. I hope this makes sense to people. It's just a little bit of rambling this morning. And I got to go to work now. The sun is coming up. It's going to be a absolutely gorgeous day. So y'all have a blessed day. Bicycle.